everyone, my name's Michelle, and this week we're going to be looking at some really fun nature art projects. There was a guy from the 18th century called Gilbert White. Now he was a naturalist. That's someone who likes to look at the plants and the birds, insects, trees, all of nature all around him. And he liked to focus on what was about him. So this week we're doing Focus Narrowly, looking at things really closely. Bees, butterflies, the flowers, things that are around us in our gardens, in the woodlands, in the parks, all about us. So today we're going to start with trees. I want you to go outside into your gardens or into the parks or walk down the road and look for some leaves from trees if you can, because that's what we're concentrating on. And meet me back here and we'll see what we could find. So I've been out and I've collected some leaves. First of all, you're going to need some crayons. I've got a tin of old ones here. Choose some colours that you would like. I'm going to go for blues and greens. And it doesn't have to be realistic. You can go for purples or reds or oranges. And then if any have got paper on, you need to just tear that paper off. So let me get started. Gather some paper, take one sheet, grab one of the leaves that you want to use. Find it best to use the back of the leaf because the veins seem to stand out better. Now you could sellotape this down or stick it on with blue tack. I'm going to just hold it in place, in fact put my paper over there and then hold it in place. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to use my crayons to come down and get that bit. Remember with your crayons to always use the side of the crayon and not the end of the crayon. So you're looking to roll your crayon across. And by doing that, look at that, it's picked up all these lovely veins. So I'm going to get the outside and I'm just going to try and go in there a bit. Yeah, oh yeah, very pleased with that. You might need to practice a bit. And you can practice with using different colours. You could do that one again. So we need to start cutting these out. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a tree trunk and then we're going to stick the leaves on top to make it look like a pretty tree. So measure out on your paper roughly where you want your trunk to be. And remember, a trunk is not a straight line. It's got roots at the bottom, so it's always going to have a curve, and trees aren't generally straight. So I'm going to have mine leaning slightly over. They're not normally dead straight. And then I'm going to have another curve and come up here. I think what I'd like to do is have a bit of a branch off here. So I'm going to curve up and then I'm going to bend out and put a branch like that. Right, so let me do this branch in here. And then I'm going to do the rest of the tree like that. Now our trees always branch out at the top. So that's my tree trunk. I'm going to take a dark blue. I'm going to make a few lines to make it look like bark. Now you can, if you want, go outside and do a rubbing of your tree trunk over the bark of a real tree, and that would look really nice. To get this effect, I do a wiggly line, not too wiggly, not jagged, but just, and then I do another one, but I don't start it at the same place. I start it a little bit lower and then I stop.
and then I'm going to use the side just to cover my tree trunk. You see, I'm picking up a bit of this texture here, and it's already giving a kind of bumpy feel, which looks quite like bark, so I'm quite happy with that, quite lucky. I've left a nice space to put my leaves at the top, and then down the bottom here we've got a few roots, so we're just going to do a few little lines like that. That suggests the roots of the tree where it's in the grass, and I'm going to use this dark crayon to do a few bits of grass coming up. There. Now we're ready to stick our leaves on. There, so I'm roughly happy with that, and I'm going to now start gluing these leaves down. So I've got a scrap of paper here which I don't need, and then I'll start taking these leaves and using a glue stick, I'm going to start sticking them on. Now, instead of sticking them all flat, if you want, you can leave the glue off some of the leaf. So stick it down a little bit, and then you could just say, leave the glue off this and just curl it up a bit. It gives your tree a bit of a 3D effect. Like that. Also, it's fine for some of your leaves to come off over the edges of the paper. It actually makes the tree burst out of the paper. Put that one there to hide up the end of that trunk. And then just curl up some of these ends. If you haven't put glue on them, then they'll stand up away from the paper to give that three-dimensional look. Oh, I've got one left over. I think we'll have him on the floor as if he's just floated down. There we go.
Now we have it, our very own tree picture. What does yours look like? What we're going to do is this week we're going to do all sorts of fun nature projects. We're going to look at trees, we're going to look at butterflies, we're going to look at flowers, and it's going to be quite fun.